Well, hello everybody. It's a new week to make our dreams come true, huh? On Monday, the sun enters Pisces, so happy birthday to all you Pisceans out there. And next weekend, we are going to have a full moon in Virgo. That is a wonderful time to just get things organized, get things done. Some of you may be feeling really creative. Make some space for that. Creativity really is in all of us. Even if you think you aren't creative, you are. Just being a human and getting through life, you have to be creative. Creativity can be many things. Maybe you're a great chef. Maybe your house is beautiful. And maybe you actually are a painter or a musician. This weekend should be good for everybody to let those creative juices flow. All right, let's see what the general energy of the week is going to be. Oh, wow. Okay, everybody, it's time to let your freak flag fly. So this week, on a positive note, a lot of us might be feeling like we want to do some sort of a revamp, maybe with our appearance, with some projects that we've set aside. This is a great time to express yourself and your own individual vision of the world that dovetails great with that Virgo full moon this weekend. This card is the card of the individual. There is only one of you and one of me on this planet of 7 billion people, and this card is all about that. So maybe take some time to think about some of your own personal goals or ideas. That's on the positive side. On the negative side, sometimes this means that what we want gets in the way of the collective, of the relationship. Maybe you might be dealing with somebody who is more interested in their own self than what's going on between you and them. And so communication is really good. But in general, I find this to be a really great energy for speaking your truth, self-expression, and just valuing yourself for who you are. Okay, let's dive a little deeper into the week. Oh, lovely. Okay, we are starting with some really dynamic energy. So, oh, that's good, but it mellows out. I'd rather start there than end there, to tell you the truth. So many of us might have a situation that arises where either we've been avoiding dealing with it or we haven't wanted to face it, and we're just not going to be able to really get away from dealing with something. And that's where we're starting, and that's a good place to start. Sometimes with this energy, something just really does have to give in order to make way for the new, and that's what's happening here. Also, I always say with this, the truth will set you free. So maybe it's a truth that's a little bit uncomfortable, but it really starts you on the road to more freedom. It's going to be really important, if you know what I'm talking about and it actually is happening, that your perspective around the situation is correct. We don't want any Eeyores here. It's better to be like, oh, I'm glad that this has happened because now I can rearrange things and just keep moving. How we see a situation is really critical oftentimes in how, well, first of all, the result, and also just our experience of it. It's really important not only for us to know what we believe about something, but it's also really important to take a step back and think about what is useful for us to believe about something. So let's say something doesn't go to plan, or all of a sudden you find something out that you weren't expecting to find this week. Well, you can deal with it a lot of different ways. I mean, of course, you're going to have your emotions, but how you view a situation in your life and what you do with it is what's actually more important. Lots of times I'll be dealing with clients who have basically a similar challenging situation happening, right? And at some point they both go, why? Why me? Well, the person who's more successful in navigating is the one who sits there for a minute going, why? And then suddenly goes, this feels like shit and I'm getting out of here. And just is like, I'm moving on. The person who's less successful is the one who just sits in the why me. So try not to stay in something if you really got to deal with it, even if it's not ideal, just keep moving. The really good news is that we are moving away from this as the week goes on. Now, this is a general time period, a week. This could be something that starts in this week and goes on a little longer. But fundamentally, you know, in conjunction with this sort of perspective card, we have this beautiful energy up here that is actually all around. This is called the wish card. It's 9 of Cups, wish comes true, what you want will come to you. So please, if things get rough, don't give up hope, because what this is saying is that there's still an avenue to get what you want, okay? The perspective is important, the vision is important. We're always going to have obstacles. When I look in the relationship area of this reading today, it's very interesting. It sort of dovetails with that first card I pulled about the being your own individual, more of the focus being on individuality than being part of the collective. But we have the Hanged Man here, and this is for all of us this week. This actually fits well with Pisces. Now, Pisces is the last sign of the entire zodiac. So it said that Pisceans have been every sign, every other sign, as well as Pisces. And that's why they can put themselves in other people's shoes, which, by the way, I believe we really need in society right now. It'd be great if everybody were a Pisces in America right now. Maybe we'd have some more peace. But you know, the hangman really is when we go through some sort of transition and we're not clinging to old ideas of who we are. You may just wake up one day and suddenly something that you've always loved, you suddenly are like, it doesn't fit me anymore. I think I like this instead. There's no reason for it. It's just growth. This also is a card of perspective. So we have 2 cards talking about perspective this week. So please take a time to look at how you're looking at something. With this card, really, the truth is what is on the inside of us, how we see the world, what we believe, will always manifest externally in our life. I can sit and talk to somebody for 5 minutes and ask a few key questions and get a fairly good idea of what their belief system is to a certain degree. It's because what we have inside is what we create outside. And so some of us may be changing on the inside right now with just some of our preferences or ideas about who we are or what we want to do. Flow with that. You know, this is you and you. So this is a very you-oriented reading. Now, some of this shift in perspective might be spurred on by something that happens outside of us, or maybe it's just us and us. But we are meant to grow until we take our last breath. And I think this reading is reminding us of this. And we also are meant to fulfill dreams and desires, okay? We have this lovely energy in our outcome towards the end of the week. I always say with this card, be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. Wow, what a difference between the beginning of this reading and the end of this reading. There is always room for choice. There is always room for movement. There's usually a way to get what you want if you want it bad enough. And that's sort of what this is reminding us of. And by the way, make sure what you want isn't what somebody else wants. It's what you want. But anyways, this is a lot of swift movement. This is definitely moving towards the time of the full moon. There's a lot of momentum here. And so if you're involved in something, or many of you may have been waiting to hear about something and you're actually going to find out that you've got it, the only caveat is read in between the lines, because you might dip in your toe and they grab your whole leg, all right? This could be a relationship, this could be a new job, or something that you thought you wanted. Hey, and you may still want it, but it might be a little more commitment than you thought it was going to be. We have an ace here. You may have to decide whether, once you find out all the information, you want to commit, but once you do commit and decide and make the decision, then you need to commit to the decision. So our final card in this reading is, again, a card that talks about you standing on your own 2 feet. This is the anti-codependence card, but this more beautifully is a card about you've already done a lot. You already have a lot that you can harvest in your life, and you can be proud of that. The old decks have a woman standing in front of a field that is just exploding with fruit and vegetables that she can just reach over and pick at her leisure. Well, what this is the land that she bought. It's the land she tilled, she planted it, she nurtured it, and now everything that she's put her energy into is hers for the taking, and she can be proud. So that's what I'm going to leave with you this week. What do you have in your life that you've done that you can be proud of? Please give yourself credit. I hope you have a lovely week, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.